Ghazwa-e-Badr, the first battle of Islam. Ghazwa-e-Badr, unseen help of the Allah, the first fight in the history of Islam, which conclusively changed the course of history. The day, which is called Yawm-e-Furqan, the day Kufr was divided from Islam. Surprisingly, Muslims were permitted to attract the sword to shield their confidence, land, and honor. In the interim, the Muslims came up under the leadership of the great Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They were just around 313 in number, and the Makkans numbered 1,000. These are little numbers, yet with these powers, one of the unequivocal skirmishes of the world was battling at Badr in A.D. 623, the second year of the Hijrah. The Muslims were roused by confidence. They never questioned for a moment that they would win. The Battle of Badr, or Ghazwa-e-Badr, is great Islamic battle created the Muslim run in Medina, furthermore considered as the establishment of great Muslim empire. In 622, to escape mistreatment of Muslims by the Makkans, Muhammad, peace be upon him, and huge numbers of his supporters migrated from Mecca to the neighboring city of Medina. This migration is known as the Hijrah. The battle was a result of the circumstances that the Muslims started charging tax on the tradeway of the Meccans. Cheap Ramadan Umrah packages from London, the companions of the Muhammad, peace be upon him, approached to the well of Badr, which was the only water source in the battlefield, and relied upon to stop the Meccan armed force behind this place. They even chose the highest place in the battlefield to keep their strength more. At midnight on March 13th, the Quraysh broke camp and walked into the valley of Badr. It had downpoured the earlier day, and they attempted to move their stallions and camels up the slope of Akinkel. The Makkans set up an alternate camp in the valley, after they plummeted from Akinkel. While they rested, they sent a scout, Umayr ibn Wahb, to survey the Muslim lines. The Umayr reported that Muhammad's, peace be upon him, the armed force was little, and that there were no other Muslim reinforcement which may join the fight. On the other hand, he likewise anticipated amazingly overwhelming Qurayshi losses in the occasion of the attack. The fight started with champions from both armed forces rising to participate in battle. 3 of the Ansar rose up out of the Muslim positions, just to be yelled once more by the Makkans, who were anxious about beginning any pointless fights and just needed to battle the Qurayshi Muslims. This was a triumphant conventional 3-on-3 battle for the Muslims. Presently both armed forces started stroking shafts at one another. A couple of Muslims and an obscure number of Quraysh warriors were executed. Prior to the genuine attack started, Muhammad, peace be upon him, had given requests for the Muslims to attack with their extended weapons, and just captivate the Quraysh with skirmish weapons when they progressed. Presently he gave the request to charge, tossing a modest bunch of rocks at the Makkans in what was most likely a conventional Arabian signal while shouting, "Ruined be those countenances." The Muslim armed force shouted, "O thou whom God has made a triumphant, kill," and surged the Qurayshi lines. The Makkans, under quality, and apathetic about battling, immediately broke and ran. The fight itself just kept going a couple of hours and was over by the early evening. These are the great spots where Muslims pilgrims come for Hajj and Umrah, with the packages affordable non-shifting Hajj packages for Muslims in London, England. The Quran depicts the power of the Muslim attack in numerous verses, which allude to a large number of heavenly attendants slipping from heaven at Badr to startle the Quraysh. It ought to be noticed that the Muslim sources take this record actually, and there are a few hadith where Muhammad, peace be upon him, talks about the angel Jibril and the part he played in the fight.